Good evening, welcome to tonight's Hearthstone Half Hour. I'm Hammy, this is Felcraft Casts. Hope you're well and good, and it's New Player Monday. We are going to be grabbing another deck that we've seen played. We're a bit interested in working out how it works, going through it from a newish player's perspective, breaking it down for you, and then we're going to be both learning it together. We're going to jump into some ladder. It's the beginning of the next season, it's early September, there is nothing to lose, so that's always, I find, the most fun time, when you can just throw new decks at the ladder and see what you enjoy and what you don't. So, Mage Deathrattle, Mage Secrets. Well, Naxxramas has given us a whole cornucopia, plethora, pick your words to describe all of the different kinds of options that we now get. So we're going to take a look at Mage Secrets. Has been something that's done before. Deathrattle mechanic has been beefed up with Naxxramas. Deathrattle's pretty prevalent, so we are going to firstly pick a deck that we're going to remove. I still like the look of that deck. We're going to remove the custom Warlock that I accidentally took into ladder the other day, which was quite funny. It was customised solely to beat one of the Naxxramas bosses and was then quite painful. So Mage, Maging and Deathrattling. So there is a sort of certain Mage deck doing the rounds right now. Apart from the billions of hunters that there seem to be, there seems to be a particular deck which is a weird combination of both Mage Secrets and using Mage Secrets to their greatest effect, and then also the new sort of Mage and Deathrattle comboing quite together nicely as well. Now Naxxramas has had a real shot in the arm for Deathrattle, so we're going to build this deck together and see a little bit about how it works. I would probably say it's kind of a little sort of on the controlly mid-rangey side. You're not trying to nuke your opponent down immediately in the early game. You need to make a few smart plays. You can use a lot of the smart Mage cards to keep pressure on throughout your mana curve throughout the game. But ultimately the thing that pins the deck together is the Mad Scientist and some other pieces. So let's show you where we're going. First up, we go with a couple of Mana Worms, just an all solid round card. You see this in a bunch of Mage decks. Mages cast spells, this gets stronger whenever a spell is cast, so a bit of a no-brainer. So 2 Mana Worms, no massive surprise for any Mage deck you see out there. Now the next thing you get is the synergy with Deathrattles. We're both trying to play Secrets and Deathrattles in this deck. The deck list that we're taking a look at is Lawrence James, he goes by on the forums, so this is the deck we're looking at. I'll share it in chat and it'll be in the YouTube comments after. So this kicks off the Deathrattle bit of the deck. Remember, we've got Deathrattle, Secrets, and we're pinning the two together, or Lawrence James pinning the two together in this Mage-ish offering. Apparently it's Legend, this is made Legend, so it'll be interesting to play it through and see how it goes. So whenever you summon a minion with Deathrattle, gain 1/1. The criticism or sort of thing with this deck is it's not fully Secrets and it's not fully Deathrattles. It has a bit of both that you try and put together. But Undertaker will benefit the more Deathrattle minions we play, so we're trying to make the most of Deathrattle. 2 Undertakers get the nod. Next up we have Frostbolt. So Mage spell wise, that kind of makes sense. Course Mage spell, mana efficient, has the freeze, does 3 damage. Nice for both control and for DPSing. Another common card that makes the cut here is the Blood Mage, Thalmos. It's all over good in Mage. The spell damage benefits, the Deathrattle drawing a card benefits. The 1/1 means he will get knocked out pretty quick, but, however, for 2 mana you can throw him down and he will certainly do something or another. So, really a triple threat. He can sing, he can dance, and he can act, if you're thinking of that kind of triple threat. But really in Hearthstone he's the triple threat of, if he's killed, he draws a card, he does the spell damage, and then the third threat, he's just cheap enough to play early in the game. So he's going to be giving you benefit however you decide to play him. Welcome Chris Cat, and welcome Topfadol as well. It's great to have you with us live, as well as all of the others of those of you who are not signed in. Next up we are going to be grabbing Loot Hoarders. Loot Hoarder's not massively magey common, however the Loot Hoarder is just good to accelerate your deck in the early game. So you will see, again, Deathrattle going with our Undertaker Deathrattling theme. If we want to benefit from Deathrattles, then we want to have Deathrattles in the deck. So Loot Hoarder, draw a card, if he dies he dies, if he doesn't die you might get a 2 damage on something with him. So next is the key card. We've taken a look at Mad Scientist in Hunters recently, and Mad Scientist, because we're trying to fish out secrets, also can work very well in a Mage. So let's just take a quick look at his ability. He's sort of a double, and he's the kind of card that ties the deck together. So not only does he pull our secrets from the deck into the battlefield on his death, but he's also another Deathrattle card that buffs our Undertaker. for every single, of course, card that is played when an Undertaker is on the table that has Death Rattle, the Undertaker gains 1/1. So Mad Scientist is the bridge between the Death Rattles and the secrets. Two Mad Scientists making the nod. And then we are grabbing a few more as we go through the mana curve. I would say core mage cards. Arcane Intellect, 3 mana, draw 2. Card draw in a card game, as we always rather obviously state, is excellent, so we're quite happy with that. 2 Counterspell. Don't always see 2 of this in a mage deck, but because you've got Mad Scientist to fish it out, it just gives you protection against all of the kind of horrible removal and nukes that might come your way. So it's a bit of a sort of a generic inclusion, but there's generally never a situation where it's sort of bad to negate a spell. 1 Duplicate makes the nod. When a friendly minion dies, put 2 copies of it into your hand. That's going to be recycling all of your Death Rattle minions and letting you have a second shot at them. So whatever you're bringing back with Duplicate, and dropping that at the right time to grab back what you need at the right time, unless you perhaps fish it out with something else, is timing. So timing of that Duplicate will affect, of course, what you get back. You probably don't want to be throwing it down willy-nilly, but 2 for the price of 1 is always good. Just the 1 Ice Block, obviously dropping that at the end when things are getting a bit hairy, making sure that you keep yourself alive for 1 more turn. Mirror Entity, now just one of those. When your opponent plays, let's go for a gold one. When your opponent plays a minion, summon a copy, so that's again reinforcing your board. And remember that your Mad Scientist can let you pull out these secrets. So then you see 2 Kirin Tor Mage, and this is the secret side of the deck really getting into gear. The next secret you play this turn costs 0. You have a lot. Hey, welcome to Nuska, welcome to Baby Silver as well, and all of you folks, you join us in the midst of taking a little peek at Mage Secrets and Death Rattle, a deck that we've seen popping up in ladder, certainly over the last half of August, and recently as well, so we want to see how it works. And you join us in the midst of the secrets bit. So, Kirin Tor Mage, really solid, 4 attack, 3 health. The 3 health, a little low, but remember the 3 mana. And then the Battle Cry is just excellent. Now this card, this deck was played against me the other day, and this card came out turn 2. It came out turn 2 with a coin, because the other player went second. And to have a turn 2 Kirin Tor Mage with 4 attack and 3 health, and then they played a secret for free, I was just like, that is a huge turn 2 play. Huge turn 2 play. So I found that massive pain on a turn 2. So Kirin Tor Mage, 2 of those, and it's got just generally, so in terms of a turn 2 play, it's just really solid, and if you get the secret then it's a great additional bonus. Okie doke. So we then grab a couple of fireballs. So we're kind of, here, if you've played mage decks before, you're grabbing a lot of your core mage fundamentals. Fireball, 4 mana, 6 damage, nuke minions. Ideally you're nuking to the face, nuking your opponent's hero with that. Just the 1 polymorph. A lot of people feel more secure with 2, but that is your crowd control for whatever big and nasty threats come your way. And of course polymorph you can throw down, and then you remember the mage hero power does 1 damage targeted. So polymorph and then your mage hero power. You're saving your polymorph for something nasty. Water Elemental, just an amazing mage basic card. Freeze any character damaged by this minion, 4 mana, and that 3 attack is low, but the 6 health just means that this card is awkward, particularly if you're playing against an enemy hero that is using weapons, warriors, paladins, rogues. You just keep hitting them in the face with the Water Elemental and freezing them and freezing them and freezing them. I play a lot of Control Warrior. I've been frozen and frozen and frozen. And it's so the Water Elemental is just so awkward, and for a basic card, if you've just started Hearthstone, just the first deck you play as mage, level up to level 10, get your Water Elementals, just see how good they actually are. Absolutely crazy. So 2 Water Elementals drop in. The next then we have 2 of these, and this is what really, if you didn't doubt that this was a mid-range deck, 2 Sludge Belchers. So this is just a wall. It's a wall from Naxxramas, Taunt, and then when it Death Rattles you summon another Slimewood Taunt, and you can see again the Death Rattle side of the deck, we've got lots of Death Rattling cards that are quite solid and doing lots of awkwardness. So that is good. Putting up a wall, when it dies it will put up another small tanking wall, and over and over and over and over. That's also of course going to be buffering our Undertaker, and you can see by some extra cards that we're going to drop in, it will be additionally nice. So we're going to drop in just the one Flame Strike for the clearance, and then we're then getting to, so Flame Strike, deal 4. If you've got maybe a Blood Mage down, you can deal 5. That's to help reset the board, get threats out of the way, get tanks out of the way, help us clear the board if we're getting overwhelmed or move in for the kill. So just the one, use it wisely. Do not throw it in too early or too late. And then here are the cards that kind of are very interesting. So we're going to have one. Now one of these is Kel'Thuzad as the finisher. So you of course get Kel'Thuzad for completing next. At the end of each turn, summon all friendly minions that died this turn. So sacrifice all your minions, and then at the end of your turn they all come back to life again. Until they get rid of Kel'Thuzad, you can get double effects from all your death rattles, and Kel'Thuzad is your finisher, where you can throw over your minions out, you can sacrifice everything, and then he brings them all back to life. If you can get Kel'Thuzad down with a relatively full board, you are absolutely laughing. And the last card in here, which I would really like to have, but it's probably the one legendary that I need to craft still, maybe 2 at this point in time, is Sylvanas Windrunner. Now I'm going to show you Sylvanas, even though we're going to have to find a replacement for Sylvanas. And the reason for that is because Sylvanas is just so the synergy with this deck, the combos, just the sense in this deck is excellent. So 1, Sylvanas has got a death rattle. 2, she's really solid at 5 attack, 5 health. And then look at that death rattle, take control of an enemy minion. Now what happens if you drop a Sylvanas and you've got a Kel'Thuzad? You can sacrifice her, take control of an enemy minion, and at the end of the turn she comes back to life. You can then sacrifice her, and you get the picture over and over and over and over. In fact, you know what, I'm going to disenchant. See, come on. Oh, I just don't have quite enough dust, do I? I think I could sit here in front of you and be like, can we have enough dust to go and get Sylvanas? We need 1/600, so we've got 1520, I just need 80 dust, we could do it. Right, we're going to do it. I've been waiting for Sylvanas for ages. We're going to craft the legendary and have that satisfaction. Now, why am I grabbing Sylvanas? Well, I've got a bunch of other legendaries, but Sylvanas is one of those ones, as we mentioned in a previous episode, one of those cards where, to be honest, you don't need her as one of your first picks, I would probably say. However, if you've got a bunch of stuff and you've got the main deck legendaries that you need, then sort of in terms of, like, so like there are some deck legendaries that if you want to build a particular deck when you're just starting out, you just need to make a specific deck. There are then the generically good ones like Ragnaros and things like that, which you can pretty much throw into most decks and they'll come and do a good job for you. Illidan Stormrage. I'm tempted to disenchant him. I only need 80 dust. Ooh, how can I get 80 dust? Would a Wind Fury Harpy give me what I need? Wind Fury Harpy. How much dust? Disenchant 50, that's fine. We just need, another 30 dust. And then Sylvanas is ours. There we go. 30 dust, 30 dust. You can see those gaping holes in the collection. Spellbreaker, I like my golden Spellbreaker. We're not going to get rid of that. I like my golden Mogoshan. I like the Scarlets. Come on, Youthful Brewmaster. We don't need a golden Youthful Brewmaster. Bye bye. There we go. Yay, Sylvanas time. I'm really looking forward to trying this card out. It's been played against me to devastating effect on many occasions. Sylvanas. There we go. The Windrunner has joined us, and just in time to get dropped into our deck. Fantastic. I'm absolutely loving that. So we're going to call this Death Secret. That's straight out of the evil villain in any kind of spy movie naming convention. Just name it something really obvious and hope that the super spy does not notice. So, like the names of sort of things in superhero films or spy films. So say, any evil corporation in a sort of superhero film always has a sort of very foreboding name, like Oscorp in Spider-Man. That's very foreboding. It does just sound like something evil that would be awkward. So let's just take a quick review of our deck. That's the first stop in our New Player Monday. We've built this deck. We've taken some inspiration from a deck that we've been playing against. We found a similar deck list, and the list that we're taking a look at is the Lawrence James deck list off of the forums. But there are various other variants. I'll link it again in chat. Remember that this will be also in the YouTube description. And we've built it. We've taken a look at roughly how it works. Let's have a look at the mana curve, where you can see that we've got a whole bunch of cards we're throwing down in the early game. We need to grab control in the early to mid game by judicious use of our secrets at the right time, and then making good trades or trying to get table position with lots of these cheap minions. But it is not a full-on rush deck, because we need to get ourselves into a good position so that we can get set up for the mid game. Water Elemental, Sludge Belter, solid tanking and protection, solid freezing, and then with Sylvanas and Kel'Thuzad, if we've got the table under control, Kel'Thuzad hits the table, we have a lot of minions down, we sacrifice, go back, sacrifice, go back. So quite unusual in that we're trying to mash together two concepts for Mage which can work pretty well on their own. So the challenge, of course, and where this Mage deck has been occasionally challenged, is that if you're trying to do a bit of everything, then are you going to be really, really good at anything? So if you're trying to do the secrets thing, are you going to be good enough with your death rattles, or by putting in secrets, are you sacrificing the various death rattling ability? Now, the most challenging thing for this deck is obviously Zoo, as it is for a bunch of things. But against everything else, the matchup should be pretty reasonable. We just need some nice early game options. And for this, I'm quite happy to keep Mirror Entity. Going to trade in, okay, I'll get a counter spell as well, but with 2 mana worms, that's real nice. So if we're playing a Zoo, those will happily help me make some trades. I would like a cheaper play. Okay, Fireball. I'm just going to not take the risk, and I'm just going to coin, controversially, straight into 2 of those. Now I could have played one of those next turn and coined into it as well. That would have probably been better to buff those 2. So again, a straight up misplay there. Very, very rushed of me. I got 2 of those down to try and start trading, and with a Nerubian Egg, I was thinking perhaps of getting those 2 down to trade against minions that hit the deck. But with the Nerubian Egg, we know that this is most probably a Zoo. There's an off chance it could be a Handlock, because of course a Handlock could use Sunfury Protector, Defender of Argus, big minions, to give this attacking ability and sacrifice it. So a Nerubian Egg may not be a sign of a Zoo on its own. A Harvest Golem on turn 3 is certainly a sign that we now have a Zoo in the house. So Counterspell, that can protect Mirror Entity. The Undertaker, I don't have any death rattles to play, so I'm going to Mirror Entity in the hope that I get one of his Zooing options. And now of course we get the 2/2s, so what we can then do is we can take the damage, we can drop that off the table, and then he'll only be able to trade one of ours away. Now I could have attacked with those both to the face, and that wouldn't have been able to kill either of these first turn. Additional option there. So a little bit rushed there. I'm hoping that he's going to perhaps drop something nice. Okay, well, I get a death rattle on myself. Down goes a Harvest Golem, and of course that's going to be buffing his Undertaker as well. I also have Undertakers. Fireball, I'll certainly nuke some stuff off. Ice Block I don't need quite right now. What I would probably like to do is I could nuke this off the deck. This is rank 19. Niskaros, a very good question. What rank are you at? And the answer is 1-9 at this point in time. A Fireball feels like a little bit of a waste, but nuking that off the table would be very heavy control. However, if he's going to throw down a lot more death rattles... Okay, let's go crazy. Let's nuke that down. Let's drop these off. Let's just put a very hard control on it. See how this works out. So I've not made the most of my death rattling Undertakers there, but next turn I can throw down a Sludge Belter. Okay, and down we have, interestingly, Fugan. If Stalak also died this game, summon Thaddeus. So silences would be good. That's quite a nasty drop. It's a bit of an unusual one, but it's a bit of a nasty one. So the Mad Scientist will help us get the death rattles going down. I'm going to start trying to get out some of my death rattles. Now the reason for that is I want to fish for a secret at this point. I could have gone for the Sludge Belcher, but it would have got whacked probably in one go. Okay, a hit to the face, Hellfire, just straight up removal. 2 damage to all, and then that lets me pick a random secret, and I managed to get Duplicate when a friendly minion dies. Put 2 into my hand. So getting down Sludge Belcher, that is a brilliant, brilliant way to trigger that. Now I could go for the Water Elemental, but having that many tanks is just unmissable. I can throw that down, he can bounce it back up, I can throw it down again, and even through those I might be able to remove all these. The Water Elemental, doubly good, I can use that to start freezing things. So at this point we're okay. I wouldn't say we're thriving, but we're okay. Down goes the loot order. A whole bunch of Death Rattle. So he's actually playing a Death Rattle Warlock here now, and you can see that he's doing the exact same thing I'd want to do. He's buffing up his Undertaker. Now I could really do my Flame Strike right about now. Shadow Flame goes. There goes Secrets, Duplicates. I get 2 copies back. And he knows that I can be dropping lots of Sludge Belchers. There goes the use, that then gets traded away. Life tap also goes down. So I don't need to be freaking out right now. It's not a great position to be in, but a Water Elemental and an Ice Block, a Counterspell, these aren't really going to do loads for me at this point. But what will do me a hand is I can Sludge Belcher, and I want to be doing just the 1 damage to this Undertaker. Reason for that, by dropping the 1 damage on the Undertaker, I'm not feeding him cards. He can attack me if he really wants, but if he does decide to attack me with one of his big minions, I'm going to take it out. Down goes Rivendell, and he's playing a full-on Death Rattle. Your Miggen's Trinia Death Rattles twice, so he's going to now be really drawing cards. A very interesting Death Rattle Warlock we're playing against here, and he's going to be drawing and drawing and drawing, so he's going to stuff his handful of cards. However, I've still got Sludge Belchers to slow him down. Minions with Battle Cry cost 2 more. And with a War there, I really need my Flame Strike right about now. A very interesting and cool deck this Warlock is playing. Very much enjoying it. Okay, so Polymorph, I think that sheeping something is going to be an excellent play. Sheeping the Rivendell is probably the best play that I can go for. And then I can also drop a Water Elemental to start freezing stuff away. I'm not going to go for the Belcher because I don't want that Death Rattle effect going any more than is necessary. So the Water Elemental, he's not going to attack me, he will probably keep rushing me to the face, but with the Water Elemental I can start trying to slowly chip away even the odds. He knows next turn I can drop another Belcher. I don't think I need to Ice Block just yet. Counter spells might help me with any other things that he throws, so it might be a question of counter spelling next turn. Oh, another Belcher goes down. This is an evil, evil deck. Very nicely played. And he can go for the trade there, of course, as well. So a Flame Strike would really do me some favours here. Okay, it's not coming out. So the Nubra Warlord. Okay, so I don't think I'm going to get nuked just yet, but a Belcher would be good. Do I want to Ice Block? Do I want to Counter Spell? Or do I want to remove a little bit of this damage from the table? An Undertaker could help me with some trades. Well, if he does decide to attack with this, I'm not going to remove it in one go. That will get removed anyway. This will also get removed anyway. I think that I shouldn't get nuked off the table in one go, I hope. I'm going to take a risk with a counter and then throw down my Undertaker. In fact, this Warlock deck looks so fun. I think we've probably got next week's New Player Monday all worked out. Next week's deck tech. Okay, he's sacrificed there. Little charge in, sacrifice 2, very nice, we get our tank back up. He can then charge on in, and his Belchers are doing their jobs as well. Keldazad goes down, oh, he's mirrored us. At the end of the turn, summon all minions that died, so he gets them all straight back. So we are defeated here because he has hoisted us with our own petard. It's a very fun Warlock deck he's playing. Right, so we are dead unless we can get something that's going to do us a job, so we can go fish. Ice Block will save us for 1 turn. The Mad Scientist could grab a secret that's going to assist us. Remember, of course, that we've already got a counter spell down as well, but I'm not entirely sure how that's going to help affairs. Okay, I'm going to stick an Ice Block down as well, and then what are we going to remove as a third one? Well, I doubt he's going to trade the minions, so let's just remove that. Ow, 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 ow. Ow, the pain. The pain. We're ahead. But this is... oh, my Exner as well. Let's throw it well played down. He very much deserves this. Void's deck. It's loads of fun. Let's catch this for eternity, because I think we need to build one of these ourselves. Fair play. And yeah, he's probably going to charge in. And remember, all minions that die get resurrected by Kel'Thuzad. My one polymorph is gone. I'm not quite dead, but I'm not quite alive either. So I'm going to be alive for one more go. You can't get anything else back to life. Arcane Intellect, draw the cards. Where is my Flame Strike? It's still not here. The next secret I play this turn costs 0. But Battle Cries cost more because this Weblord is still alive, which is also frustrating. Hockey day. Oh, is there anything I can be removing? The answer is yes, I can take this out. Water Elemental might help me with a few more trades the turn after. Can I remove one thing that's going to be a painful threat? I'm just going to freeze KT. In fact, I should have nuked something else off the table. Should have probably done a trade there. I think this is lost anyway. A Flame Strike would help, but it would not totally help because I'm still going to be on ridiculously low life. It destroys that very nicely, of course. My Exner's ability causing some pain. Secrets! Yay! I'm still alive! Unsurprisingly, a nice block. But then he can trade all my minions away. This will let me fish out a secret. So he'll probably not attack this intentionally, because he could give me a secret that would help me. I'd be very surprised if he attacks that. There you go. Sludge Belcher, well, that keeps me alive for not one more turn. I think we're done here. Ooh, counter spells not going to help us either. So we will knock on the table and say very well played to that Warlock. That was an enjoyable game. What could we have done differently? Well, I wasn't entirely sure what he was playing, and then by the time I did know what he was playing, it was a bit too late. Next time I would get against that kind of deck, just grab even earlier cards. But the challenge there was that we weren't fully committed to one, we weren't fully committed to the other. We did not get the whole Death Rattle mechanic going. Another Flame Strike, so anything that sort of gets table position like that deck did, it's kind of hard unless we've got all of our cheap minions on the table. We didn't see Loot Hoarders, for example. It's kind of hard to bring it back. Oh, there's the Flame Strike. Right, well, I'm not going to worry about Flame Strike this time around. I'm going to throw those, in fact, I'm going to throw all of these back and hope that we draw some early game minions. So let's try that. Also, we didn't see our beautiful Sylvanas as well. That would have been good. Honestly, you craft a legendary, and then she doesn't show up. Zombie Chow. Well, we can start chipping this Zombie Chow down. When it dies, it's going to heal us, so we can just leave it there. We can chip it away, but the Zombie Chow will be there to try and trade minions with us. I see what this is going to be. He's going to drop that. He's going to draw. Coining into a draw. Okay. So the Flame Strike is going to be useful for me, certainly, depending on where this priest is going to go. This looks like a version of that Trump priest deck that we tried and got whooped with the other day. Emerge Scientist. That's exactly what I have in play. If you kill him, I get a secret. If you don't kill him, then I'm all good. I'm happy either way. I'm happy like Pharrell. And then I can start the charge of the Water Elementals. In comes to play a secret, and we get a duplicate. Excellent. And I might just swarm him with Water Elementals. Him or her. Let's show you the fun of this deck in action now. Right, we're not going to be triggering Death Rattles. We don't have enough, but I'm happy with the Water Elemental. I'm just going to say, your move, bub. I want to take more damage. I hate that he doesn't sacrifice the Zombie Chow, because I'd love to heal that full 5 health and waste more of the attacking damage that he will or she will be doing. Powered Shield draws a card. Our priest friend is deliberating. Powered Shield, of course, lovely. Buff 2, 2 health, draw a card for just 1 mana. There's nothing not to like about that. Oh, down goes the Pyro. Can throw some spells around, but I think primarily that's just going to be to do some carnage. Now unless he attacks me to the face. Oh, it did. Okay. I'm going to sacrifice the Chow then to do the healing. I don't even have to sacrifice that Chow. I can save it for whenever I want. Primarily I want to get rid of the cards that are going to cause me most aggro. So, do you know what? I actually think I'm just going to really sell them out, because remember that as soon as one of these dies I get 2 back with duplicate. I can just swarm with water elementals. So I'm going to take out the cards that irritate me. I can't kill that in one go until next go, so I'm not going to give him anything to heal so he can draw cards. He's probably looking for his the priest here is probably going to be looking for there, sorry. Or can I Soul Priest and Circle of Healing to try and cut into me a bit. There goes the Undertaker. Oh, that's a very clever play, because he's duplicated Undertaker, and really I would have preferred it duplicated Water Elemental. So whether that was intentional or not, that's a nice positive effect of killing that to start with. Kill the weaker minion rather than the stronger. And Holy Nova drops me down a bit. Heals, draws a card, nicely comboed as well. Freezes his Mage. There's a Northshire Cleric there as well. Lovely. So what am I going to jump into? Well, I'm not going to Poly. Mirror Entity, I think that we're expecting some kind of nasty 6-drop, so I'm going to preempt that with a Mirror Entity and hope that something nasty comes along. I'm going to get rid of that Cleric because it's just frustrating me. We'll get down a couple of Undertakers, and then hopefully my Death Rattling cards are going to start appearing. Remember, I've got Loot Hoarders, I've got Sylvanas, I've got Sludge Belchers, I've got so many things that could benefit from, you know, that could cause benefits to this Shake, Rattle and Roll. Down goes the Mirror Entity, and with the Injured Blade Monster, Blast Master, beg pardon, I get one of my own, and then do remember, of course, I've got a Flame Strike in hand. So I kind of hoped, ooh, okay, the Flame Strike won't get that because he's just healed it up enough, but I've still got plenty of options to just nuke it. I can even save that Flame Strike and just use a bit of a tactical fireball here. Get that removal going. I'm going to Mad Scientist again. I'm going to... No point really freezing the priest, but I don't want to take the damage on this, so this is kind of prime Blade Master territory. I can take the 5 heal there, Zombie Chow finally goes down, and of course freezing the priest will not do anything because he's not bearing a weapon, but in this case I want to try and keep my water elemental alive just that little bit longer. So as opposed to the last game where we were struggling getting table presence in the early to mid game, in this game it's come out a little bit better. We've had a few more cheap cards early. It was nice drawing into the water elementals. Of course we have benefited because Priest as a deck rolls a little bit more slowly. Down goes a Cultist, the Priest's wonderful addition from Naxxramas, and we need to kill that last. Circle of Healing, nasty. Look at that. That was the combo we knew he was looking for. And because the Dark Cultist died first, it restores 3 to the Soul Priest. We draw our secret and we get a nice block. That's good. It's not going to immediately assist us. Flame Strike I could still save for mega nukage. Poly I'm going to save for something a bit more nasty. So let's... This is a bit excessive. I may live to regret this, but we'll drop a Flame Strike. Polymorph and... could have done that with a Poly. We've only got 1 Poly. I know that Priest will probably be looking to draw Brag or some other big finisher, and we're now on turn 8. So we're into big, nasty finishing card territory. And I know that this Priest deck, if it's the one I think it is, packs a big, heavy finisher or 2. Another Dark Cultist, okay. Loot Hoarders. I've still not seen Kel'Thuzad, of course. So it'd be nice to see him turning up at some point or another. PWS. Dark Cultist buffs a random friendly minion when it dies, and then it just becomes an awkward card. It's like the stats of a water elemental, but without the freeze effect. I'm going to Arcane in first and see what options that can give me. Nice. I've got a Sylvanas. That really can start messing with my opponent's mind, so I'm going to get that down ASAP. And of course before the horrors of mind control might drop on turn 10. So it gives me an opportunity to at least do some damage. Tries to sacrifice. Nicely played. Drops the silence. Shadow of Death, insta removal. 3 mana removes my threat. Thought Steal then just grabs some of my cards to use against me, and this is why this priest, if it comes together, can be nice. A couple of games we tried playing with it, and you can see that on youtube.com/Felcraftcasts. I did not go so well, but it doesn't thrive against rushes, and that's what generally I think we were sort of coming up against. There we go, he's hoisting me by my own petard with a mana worm. Heals, just healing away, chipping away. I've already used my flame strike, so I can't area remove those minions, and we've already got rid of our undertakers, so that's a little bit awkward. I'm going to drop a counter spell just in case of any shenanigans, and Loot Hoarder because I quite like to draw a card. So our secrets are coming into play. We're getting down to the wire, 10 cards or so left each. It all depends on what his finisher is and if I can counter it, because as we know, my finishes are a little bit smaller in nature. Kel'Thuzad is really my finisher, and unless I have him down, when I have minions down, I'm not really benefiting from his effect. Frostbolts, oh nasty, I can counterspell it there at least, but if he has a nastier spell then I can't counterspell that. There we go. Holy Nova. Area removal, heals up his Dark Cultist. Another Loot Hoarder for me, not quite so great. 3 health left still, he can heal his minion again, and that Cultist is sitting on a rather meaty 6 health. What does he want to heal? He's gone for the Dark Cultist as well. So I could be polying, but I know that he's got a big finisher sitting around somewhere. I don't want to be vulnerable to that just yet, so I'm going to make a big throwdown and say, right, I need to be drawing. Twice I've not seen Kel'Thuzad. Kel'Thuzad has to be in those last 11 somewhere. He could really save our bacon right now. But if Kel'Thuzad doesn't pop and we lose all of our minions, then it's pretty much a good game, because we've got nothing to attack with, nothing whatsoever. It could be rather painful. Circle of Healing into an Orkney and showing that amazing priest combo that just causes so much pain. There we go, the removal of the use, attack with the Cultist. He's in such a strong position, it's not even funny. Now I can remove that Orkney Soul Priest, I can throw down the Mana Worm, I can throw down a counter spell. I'm really hanging on in. And Kel'Thuzad is still yet to drop. So Kel'Thuzad is only as much good as the amount of minions you have on the table at the same time as Kel'Thuzad. If you don't have loads of minions on the same time, then you're not going to get the effect of him resurrecting them all, and the double bubble, the sort of double efficiency that you get. Down goes, another zombie chow comes into play, but that 5 health is probably small. I think that this priest is just waiting for whatever his big finisher is. Down goes another Sludge Belcher, so he's got a big wall in the way of min success as well. I'm not going to be doing anything just yet. I'm going to be trying and trying and trying to just remove that card. But of course, if that dies first, then it will buff something randomly for 3 health. And that's just probably going to, knowing our luck this evening, land on the Sludge Belcher. But the heal just pops it back up again. There we go. Gives me the draw. I don't have any secrets to benefit from. The Kirin Tor Mages have also come out a bit late. Fireball! Okay. Right, so an attempt to try and sort of salvage this game. I know that as soon as I play the Polymorph, he's going to drop a big finisher. So I must resist that. So this looks like down and quite possibly out, but I still think that this deck is going to be a bunch of fun, so this is not going to be the last we'll see of it. I think we're going to play it while we're still on these lower areas of the ladder and see how it can go. Along with Paladins, when we're in the low reaches of the ladder, may as well experiment and play and enjoy some new decks. So finally, this Kirin Tor Mage would, if it had come out earlier in the game, not only give us that free secret, but it would have let us start trading some of the minions. Holy Smite goes down, another counterspell, counterspelling a 1 mana spell. Not the most efficient in the world. And in comes the charges. He will know that he is close to victory. That Flame Strike, if I'd kept it, would have been a bit more handy. So, I can just remove the chow. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to 5 heal for free. I'm having a bit of that. And then I'm just going to tip that down as well. Now he may well decide to, if he can drop more minions, trade away that mage, because he knows that he'll lose this next turn anyway. He can of course heal up. There's the smite. Small priest control coming in good. Heals up his Dark Cultist, and with 6 cards left to go, an exhaust is not going to be within my grasp, so I'm going to have to see what his finisher is. I'm 99% sure that it'll have a Ragnaros or something like that. It's the only reason I've held on to this poly for so long, and if we never see that Ragnaros emerge, then holding on to the polymorph was a total waste of time. Snores of the household dog in the background there. Oh, and there he comes. There he comes. Too late to the party. Probably not going to do anything of use or circumstance. Let's play Kel'Thuzad! Yay! So Kel'Thuzad obviously is probably about, I don't know, maybe 5 turns. There goes the mind control, which we were expecting and didn't get counterspelled. Kills himself. Kel'Thuzad then respawns that annoying minion. So now I have to shoot my own Kel'Thuzad. The Ignominy in disgrace. And that is a GG. So, which are well played. Tap on the table. And that is us. And that is us for this half hour. So we've taken a little look. It wasn't the most successful look, as has been the trend with a few of our new player Mondays recently, but I hope that you at least got a sort of sense of how that day can work. We're going to come back to this. We may well film another one of these with a follow-up when we've got a bit more used to it, but you're basically trying to combine the death rattles and making the most of the death rattles with the secret picking of the mad scientist, comboing the two to try and come together and do not only keep a bit of control in the early to mid game with minions, but then perhaps swarm with minions in the late game with Kel'Thuzad as well, using the secrets to keep yourself alive and duplicating tanks, making the most of death rattles and similar. So thanks so much for tuning in. If it's your first time with us, then do have a look at youtube.com/FelcraftCasts. A whole bunch of other Hearthstone half hours. We've done over 100 episodes now. Woohoo! And if you're watching on YouTube and not watching live on Twitch, do come and check out twitch.tv/FelcraftCast. We go live Monday through Friday most of the time, at least once per day. Now there may be the odd occasion where we're not able to stream, but we'll always tweet on at FelcraftCasts with times as much in advance and when as we're going to be streaming as possible. But the evening schedule you can see in the bottom left of your screen on the sidebar there. And the website, last but not least, is felcraft.org. This was Monday, New Play Monday. Tomorrow is going to be Arena Tuesday. So if you're live, come tune in. If not, come check out some YouTubes. Thanks so much for tuning in, and hopefully see you soon.